Thou pardoner, thou bellamy, he said, tell us a tale thou canst many own. It shall be done, quoth he, and that anon. But first, quoth he, here at this ale stake I will drink and bite on a cake. Right anon, the gentles began to cry, nay, tell us of no ribble ride, tell us some moral thing that we may lear. Gladly, quoth he, and said, ye shall hear, but in the cup will I me bethink, upon some honest tale I will drink. Lordings, quoth he, in church I preach, I painted have an hoarsen speech, and ring out loud it doth a bell, for all by rote that I tell, my team it always who never was, radix omnimium malorum est cubitus, which means the love of money is the root of all evil. Well, anyway, he goes on and tells what a nice chap he was, and then he starts the story. In Flanders, Willem was like a company of young folks that name folly, as rot hazards, stoons and taverns, with lutes and harps and gitans. They dance and play at these both day and night, and eat also and drink over her might, the which they known the devil's sacrifice, within the devil's temple and curse wise. By superfluity abominable, others been greet and so damnable, they grease and hear him swear, our blissful Lord, to they to him thought Jews has rent them not enough, and each them others seen laugh. And right anon they come, tuperies and devils of us. Well, anyway, it goes on with a sort of rather, it's not a very nice place which he describes. O womb, O belly, O stinking in thy cod, fulfilled of dong and of corruption, either end this foulest sound, thou great label is thee fine, these cokes how they swamp and street and stern. Well, tell forth my tale, these rioters three, of which are you tell. But sires, now I will tell forth my tale, these rioters three, of which I you tell, long earth and prime rung of any bell, were set them in a tavern for to drink, and I say that a hell bell clink. Hell bell clink. Longest and prime rung of any bell, were him sat in a tavern for to drink. As they sat, they heard a bell clink. Ding. Before him a corpse was carried to the grave. That oon of him gang call his name. God back, quoth he, and act readily. What corpse is this that passes her full by? And spoke the report his name well. Sire, quoth he, but that needeth never a dell. It was me, I told you, ere 2 hours. He was, party, an old fellow of yours, and sodomly he was slain tonight. For drunk as he sat on his bench upright, there come a pride thief, men clappeth death, that in this concert of the people slash. And with his spear he smote his heart a two, and went his way without words moved. He hath slain this pestilence, a master ye, come in his presence, be thinking that is full necessary, beware of such adversary. Best ready to meet him evermore, that taught me my dame, I say no more. By St. Mary, said the taverner, the child saith sauce, yes. Slain this year, hens over a mile within great village, both man and woman, child and page. I chose his habitation be there. Be better advised to listen well, for he is dead, this man. Oh, by God, damned, quote this rioter, is it such a peril with him for to meet? I shall him seek away and seek by the street. I make a vow to God's dead bones. Hark, fellows, we 3 Bennett owns. Let us each hold his hand to each other, and let us be our bygone to others' brethren. We shall slay this false traitor deep. He shall be slain. So many as slayers, by God's dignity, be right. Together hand these truth plight, to live and die, each of another, as though he were our sworn brother. Each of them with the other, as though he were his own sworn brother. Upon thy stand, all drunk in this rage, and forth they goon towards that village. The wizard's taverner has spoke before, and many a grisly oath then had they sworn. And Christ's body, blessed body, they to rent. They shall be dead, death shall be dead, and they may him hence. Right as they would have turned over a star within he gan not fully a mile. An old man poor and hem with meat, an old man full, meekly him great, he said thus, Lordings, God thou see, the proudest of these rioters, that we may him hence. When they had gone not fully half a mile, right as they would have trodden over a stile, an old man, a poor, with them greet, an old man full meekly did them greet, and said thus, Now Lord, God you see. The pride of these rioters 3 answered, What, churl with sorry grace, why thou art for wrap save thy face, why livest thou so long? For that I cannot find a man that I've walked into inn, neither in a city nor village go, that would change his use for mine age, and therefore my age still, as long as it is in God's will, and death, alas, he will not have my life. Thus I walk like a restless caitiff, and on the ground which is my mother's gate I knock with my staff early and late, and say to her, Leave, mother, let me in. Lo, I wave flesh, blood, and skin. Alas, when shall my bones be at rest? Mother, will I change my chest, that in my chamber long hath he for hairy clout to wrap and read, and yet she shall not do that grace, and full pale and welt is my face. But sirs, it is no courtesy to speak unto an old man villainy, but he trespass in word or else in deed, and holy writ mend yourself against an old man hoar his head. Ye arise before I read, though unto an old man no harm now, that you would a man did you at age may so long abide, and God be with you whether you go or ride. I must thither as I have to go. Nay, old churl, by God thou shalt not so, said the other hazarder on. Thou partest not so lightly by St. John. Thou speakest now of that traitor death, that in this country all our friends slayeth. He has my trust, as thou art his spy. Tell where he is, or thou shalt it abide by God and by the holy sacrament. Justly thou art a saint. Slay us young folk, thou false thief. If it be you're so lief to find death, turn upon this crooked way. For in that grove I left him by my faith, under a tree, there he will abide. Nor for your boast he will him nothing hide. See that oak? Right there ye shall him find. God save you, that brought again mankind, and you amends, said this old man. And ever since these rioters ran, till they came to the tree, there they found of Florence fine. With several bushes, all as in the flight, no longer as then after death, no longer as then after death they thought, that each of them so glad was out of the sight, that Florence was so fair and bright, that down they sat by this precious hoard, and the youngest of them spoke the first word. Brethren, quoth he, take heed what I say, my wit is great, that I board and play. This treasure has fortune unto us given, in mirth and jollity of our life to live in. As lightly as it comes, so we spend. Hey, God's precious dignity, who when, day that we should have so fair a grace, but might this gold be carried from this? Of florins fine, of gold, of the gold round, well nigh, 7 bushels as them round. No longer after death they sought, each of them so glad was of the sight, for Florence were so fair and bright. That down they sat up by a precious hoard, the youngest of them spake the first word. Brethren, quoth he, take heed what I say, my wit is great, though that I board and play, this treasure has fortune unto us given, in mirth and jollity our life to live in. And lightly as it comes, so we spend. Hey, God's precious dignity, who when, today that we should have so fair a grace, that this gold be carried from this place, home to my house, or else unto yours, for well I wot, all this gold is ours. Then we in high felicity, not but truly day it may not be, men would say we were thieves strong, for our own treasure do us hong. This treasure must be carried by night, as wisely as slyly as it might. Wherefore I read that cut among us all, we draw and let us see the cut will fall, and he that had the cut will hang. We draw and see where the cut will fall, and there hath the cut with heart blithe, shall run into town in that full swithe, and bring us bread and wine full privily. The 2 of us shall keep subtilly this treasure well, if he will not carry, when it is night, we will this treasure carry, by one assent, whereas us thinketh best. Then each one of them cut broad his fist, and bade them draw, and took them where it would fall. It fell on the youngest of them all, and forth towards the town he went anon, and soon that he was gone, and one of them spoke unto the other, Thou knowest well that thou art my sworn brother. Thy profit I will tell thee right anon. Thou knowest well our fellow is gone, and here is gold, and that of full of plenty, that shall be departed here amongst us 3. But natheless, if I could shape it so, that this departed were among us 2, had I not done a friend turn to thee? The other answers, I know how that may be. He knows well the gold is with us sway. What shall we do? What shall we to him say? Shall it be counsel, said the first shrew, that I'll tell thee in words few, of what we should do, and bring it well about. Right. Well, I grant, quoth the other, out of doubt this is my truth I will not betray. Now, quoth the first, thou knowest well us must be 12, that 2 of us stronger than one. Look, he is set, thou riding on. Arise, as thou would with him play. And I shall drive him through the sized way, while thou strongest with him as in game, with thy dagger, look, do the same. And then this goal shall be departed be, my dear friends, betwixt you, thee and me, and we shall both our lust all fulfill. And this according shews tway to slay the third, as ye have heard me say. The youngest wits that went to town, full of often hard he rolled up and down, of beauty of these florins new and bright. O Lord, quoth he, if so that I might have all this treasure to myself alone. There is no man that lives under the throne of God that'll have so merry as I. And at last the fiend or enemy put in his thought that he should poison by, with which he might slay his fellows tway. Why, the fiend found him in such living that he had leave to sorrow to him bring. For this was utterly his full intent, to slay them both, and never to repent. At forth he went, no longer he tarried, into the town, to an apothecary, and prayed him that he would himself some poison that might his rats quell. And eke there was a polecat in his whore, that he said he eepens had he slore, and fain would him wreck, that he might of vermin destroyed him by the night. The apothecary answered, thou shalt have a thing, as wisely as God may save. In this world there is no creature that eat or drank of this counterfecture, but mountains of corn a week he shall live anon for leech. Ye starve he shall, and in less while thou wilt go apace, naught but a mile. This poison is so strong and violent. This cursed man, in his hand he hent this poison in a box. Swift he ran to the next street unto a man. He borrowed him large bottles 3. And the 2 he poured the poison, he poured 3. He poured he. The 3rd he kept clean for his own to drink. All the night he shot him to swing, and carrying off the gold out of that place. When this riot with sorry grace had filled with wine his great bottles 3, to his fellows again repaired he. What need is therefore, sir, and more? For writers had it cast his death before right, so they have him slain, and that anon. And when this was done, he spoke the one, let us sing and drink, and make us merry, till afterwards we will his body bury. And that with that, where it happened in Barcas to take a bottle where the poison was, and drank, and gave it to his fellow also, which anon they stared both the 2. But certes I hope that Avishai wrote never in no canon nor no fen more wondrous signs of empoisoning than had these wretches 2 ere the ending. Thus ended these homicides 2, and eat the false and poisoner also. O cursed sin, full of wickedness, traitors, homicide, O wickedness, gluttony, luxury, hazardry, thou blasphemy of Christ's civility, O straight of usage and of pride. Alas, mankind, how it may, that to thy creator thee wrought with. And goes on. I tale from... Well, that's pretty much the story. Then it goes on about the pardon trying to sort of sell people's partners, and the host says about that you'd rather chop off the partner's testicles and have them enshrined. So the partner goes and tells everyone to hand out their money, and then the host says, "Nay, nay," quoth he, "then I have Christ cursed. Let it be," quoth he. "It shall not be thou would kiss mine own besate breech, and swear it were a relic of the saints, though it were my fundament depent. But the cross which St. Helen found, I would have these coilies in my hand, instead of relics of her sanctuary. Let cut them off. I will help thee carry. Thou should be shrined in a hog's turd." The pardoner answered not a word. Well, he just said he's going to chop off his testicles and enshrine them in a pig's turd. So wroth he was, no word would he say. "Now," quoth the king, "I will no longer play with thee nor with none other angry men." But anon the worthy knight began, and we saw the people laugh. "Oh, no more of this. This is right enough. Sir Pardoner, be merry, glad of cheer. And ye, Sir Hod, but be so dear, I pray you kiss the pardoner. The pardoner, I beseech you near. Let us laugh," and they rode forth their way. Well, that's the end.